I wanted to share this neat little superpower thing that I built that lets you teleport back in time using a remote, a signal remote. So let's see here. If we damage myself a little bit, oh no, I'm down to 80 health. Boom, back to 100. And I went back to where I was 5 seconds ago. So this this little toy, if you look in the top left there, it has a loop counter. So I'm gonna wait until it gets to like 100. That counts up 1 every second. And so if I push it at 105, it takes me back to where I was 5 seconds ago, which was at loop 100. And if we damage ourselves, or if something else were to have damaged us, we can go back in time 5 seconds ago to before we took 45 damage of stink. So, how does this work? There's the actual, I don't know, the actual stuff within Unreal isn't actually all that crazy. I got a bunch of garbage over there for other tests I was playing with. But the main things we need are a signal remote. And here I use signal remote A, which is green. And so then we need a signal remote manager. And we need it to set the tier of that to uncommon, because then that makes it green. That's how these things know to talk to each other. This manager then links into my game manager as my remote. The other things I need are a teleporter, and I use a what I called tele holder, which is just a empty blueprint that lives underneath, or as a parent to, I guess, the teleporter. And if we look at the offsets down here, the teleporter has a 160 unit offset going up from the holder, just so that when the player teleports, it'll put them at about the correct height. So, what's the code for this? If we hop in, let's start with Game Manager, I suppose, even though everything fun is in Custom Player. Game Manager, the main thing that Game Manager wants to do here is find the player and start their custom player class. So the game manager, it listens for spawn, blah blah blah, sets up your custom player, and then runs the initialize on the custom player. This stuff we'll get into later, and this we'll get into later. So custom player, we get in here and we start in init. It's just doing normal setup type stuff, and then it spawns the time travel loop. Time travel loop is a loop that I feel like is pretty clever. It's pretty clever in how simple it is to achieve this effect. So we hop in here, and I have this counter just for debugging purposes, but it grabs the player, names it player character, and then we start this loop, and this loop just runs forever. There's no, it never leaves. So it starts the loop, it waits 1 second, and then it spawns time delay capture. Time delay capture is something that goes in and it says, okay, we need the player, get their location, get their health, and then just wait. Hold that information. Sit on it for 5 seconds. We're gonna sit there, we're gonna say, okay, we got their location, we got their health, we're gonna wait 5 seconds. And then we will set that to this variable I set up, this timeholder.location and timeholder.health. Timeholder is just a little class that holds the location, the health, and the counter for the player. I like using these little classes to like hold a little bucket of information for things that are all contained, because then when I have this data stored, after 5 seconds I say, okay, we're going to set time holder dot location to the player location. So get time travel state. This most of this is just debug. None of this really matters. The thing that matters is return time holder. And here you saw time delay capture was where we were setting the information for what time holder is. So in Game Manager, when you use the remote, the signal remote, we have a remote thing named remote. We have remote subscribed on signal event on remote pressed. So you press the remote, it grabs the agent, and it says, okay, let's start teleporting. And we have to pass in the agent. And I had to do this because we can't do async stuff off of a subscribe. So once you're in the start teleporting method, we bring in the agent, do our stuff to check for a custom player, and then we set time travel data equal to custom player dot get time travel state. So get time travel state was that thing we built over here in custom player right here, right? So every 5 seconds, time holder gets updated with what the time or with what their location and health was 5 seconds ago. So that is always ready to be grabbed by Game Manager. Game Manager grabs it, says, okay, we're going to call that time travel data now. That's the data we pulled from the past. It's called time travel data. We separate that back out into player location, rotation by saying, hey, time travel data dot location dot translation. This was what we set up in the class up here, time travel location. And then we're just saying, hey, grab the translation from that transform because we're saving it as a transform. Here, we're going to say, okay, we need a move result, which means we're going to move the teleporter to the location we grabbed from the past. We'll get the teleporter there, and when it's ready, when the teleporter has fully moved there, which I said to move there in 0.01 seconds, so it should get there pretty fast. But we want to wait for it to get there, and if the move result equals destination reached, then we will teleport the agent that pushed the button to their teleporter location. When that's done, we will do a similar thing to say, hey, grab the or set their health equal to the time travel data health. And that's it. That is it. I think that's pretty neat. You know, I feel like you can make some neat stuff with that. And so I wanted to share. And yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.